Gib mir jetzt sofort einen Sek. Talia, Siras, Lulu raus, okay. Sensao wäre noch offener als AD Jungler. Sensao, Trundle, AD Jungler.
Aurora's been banned the whole series. Talia's been through a few times, but unpicked, but is banned in this game. So we're really going deep on Darkwings and Calmy's pools.
Yeah, it's really interesting as well. You know, the Aurora obviously has been played a lot as a counter pick to Rumble, and Rumble has not yet been played, right? So, you know, could also be potentially a protection ban for Rumble, and then DSG has to decide, all right, well, do we just want to take the Rumble? Because traditionally in this series, Castle has been wanting to counter pick, right? You know, he has been waiting and delaying.
I apologize. I said that DSG selected first pick because that's what it said in our prompter, but it is Sentinels that is on the blue
chose
side.
the other side, but DSG does have first pick.
I hate
You got baited by the 2026 changes.
I got baited by myself and my 15 years
Ja.
of League of Legends with a standard draft.
Sensao, Trundle offen.
Because DSG does have
Trundle raus. Sensao, first pick.
My prompter was giving me the right information despite my instincts saying the other way, and that does actually set up. It's true because the Aurora.
Oh, Aurora raus, Varus. Oh, sie traden Varus, Sensao.
Why would you ban it if you don't have control of first pick? Because now Casso just gets it.
Yeah.
Varus plus Sensao.
As the answer, that's more impact anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe they were saying, oh, I don't think, you know, either we go
Plus Ornn auf 3
or,
für Impact.
you know, you don't first pick.
Wird wahrscheinlich ein Ornn, oder?
Take it away, and you can't do the Aurora, which would be more of the Castle style. So this is going to be interesting. Xin Zhao grabbed up early. As the AD junglers, we've worked through a lot of them, so that does become, you know,
Ornn auf 3 oder Support-Antwort?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Xin is up this late, and then DSG just says, okay, we're dropping our Kryra jungle pick for later.
There's the Galio that's
gotta be
Galio. I would think for sure. We'll see. I mean, Bard into Varus, always really, really strong. Lions, I don't think has had a good series, and Bard is a high execution champion. I'm expecting the Galio.
Ornn, Galio. Okay, Galio into Rumble.
Galio. But over on this DSG side, there's no true setup yet for Castle. And I think Equalizer without really good setup can be tough. Obviously, you can like Bard ult, then Equalizer over the top, but it's not the same as like a Rel or a Nautilus or whatever.
Currently, it's just lane push, but there could be some funny business. We could have some funny business. You could jungle Rumble, and you now have a Galio sitting there.
Ist halt Flex, ne? Theoretisch. Ja.
So I think there's still some funny business.
Sollten Jungler bei Nafiri oder sowas?
To be seen.
Silas.
Once again, they're really targeting I think quite successfully in these last few games in draft.
Oh, Cassio, oder? Actually.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to credit.
Also das gegen Cassio, sie haben halt Varus, aber sie haben halt auch Galio. Ist es Varus?
More easily targeted, but the Veigar was great last game. We'll see how he performs here in game 5.
Ist es Varus?
Calmy definitely has been outperformed by Darkwings, though, for sure. I think both Darkwings and Huhi really playing well this series has made a difference to bring us all the way to Game 5. More mid lane bans coming through as Syndra is going to now be targeted. And the question is, where will Darkwings go? He already brought us something new.
Jace.
Thus far, Jace, who has been getting through a lot of the series, is now banned.
Ich habe keine Ahnung, welchen Support die gehen wollen.
The Jace is would be such a good pick for Calmy.
Ich habe wirklich keinen Schimmer, was die gehen wollen an Support. Rel, Leona, Nautilus raus, Enchanter sind viele raus. Es ist nicht Fresh. Es ist hoffentlich nicht Pike. Was geht da? Rakan ist offen, aber Rakan gibt Free Lane.
Varus obviously a really high priority pick in general. Wait makes a lot of sense. I do think control mages are the bread and butter.
I mean, das ist high range as fuck, ja. Super, super high range, aber
what do you have left here to try to really turn things on their head? LeBlanc would be super risky, and I just don't know if he's performing at a level that I kind of really want to see it from.
Nee, das ist nicht. Blobmann. Blobmann.
Hasn't been played a lot of, but
no joke, W Mobile Carries. Blobmann. Spiel ihn.
So curious the way this draft plays out.
Aber es geht, glaube ich, nicht.
That we've seen.
Ey, es ist Loki Blobmann, oder nicht? Mit Tristana Mitte? Bitte. Bitte pick den Blobmeister.
Great into way though with the range difference.
Yeah, the range difference and also one of the interactions that it makes it really, really tough because I used to play a lot of Tristana mid.
Pick den Blobmeister.
Time you actually go for a rocket jump, he can just fear you. Like,
Lulu's gebannt, first free.
Dodging the rocket, there's no dodging while you're in the rocket jump, right?
Yeah.
Oder was ist das für ein Schwein? Bro, das ist kein Schweinengel. The fuck is this?
Nerfed mid quite a few times, so you kind of have to have push and win.
The fuck is this?
you can sometimes just get whittled down. So I'm a little bit worried for Call Me on this, but it is going to give them some really good scaling. You have super consistent DPS here between the Sivir as well as the Tristana. It gives you double AD threat against the Gallia, who wants to be kind of anti-MR.
Mal schauen.
And it's going to be Sejuani.
Ihr kriegt 2 Minuten zum Abstimmen. Letztes Game des Tages.
We are assuming going to be in the jungle.
Ich bin kurz auf Toilette. Und dann gehen wir rein. Bis gleich.
Be able to grab another engaged champ. I feel like SEN just has an easier draft to play. You send in Rakan and Xin, Galio also over the top, and you have 2 really solid carries.
They definitely do. They won game 4, so they're the ones that are sitting with the momentum. But the Rumble that has been banned all series did fall into the hands of Castle. We'll see if he can get anything going early on. Not to mention just the big game 5 picks like the Sejuani, something Cry was always been successful with in lower tier leagues. But he's going up against a Xin, who's like that's a game 1 Fearless Jungler.
Yeah.
So a few power picks definitely making their way into game 5, which we kind of joked about when we had that crazy Ivern Nasus game 3. The game 5 will then actually feel more normal.
What will we get? Ornn versus Cassante.
Rumble versus Galio. Unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Xin Zhao, Bard, Rakan. One of the things I do think kind of quietly is cool about Fearless is it shows you actually how many viable champions there are, right?
Yeah.
When you can go to a game 5, have all the bans come through, and you're still like, hey, it kind of just looks like League of Legends. There's actually a lot of really good champs.
Yeah, none of these champions would you be completely shocked to see even in game 1, except maybe Tristana this year.
Yeah.
As we're strategically building suspense with a pause early on in the game. We'll have to see who called for this one in game 5.
So one of the players is not yet back from the restroom, so just waiting for the players to return.
Did they draft without him?
I don't know. Maybe
That's
they picked and then tried to run and try to get back in time.
Maybe.
I do that in solo queue. They just like us, you know? You lock in your first pick, you lock in your pick, you run to the bathroom.
I mean, let's pan out. Who was it? Supports are in chair. Oh, Sajed, my man. For what it's worth, this is fair. Game 1, Rahel was gone, so each team's AD carry gets one.
Equalizing the bathroom breaks.
Pause.
Yeah, that is
that should be added to the rule book.
Yeah, exactly. Every time they take one, you get one too. You know?
I actually hate that.
Pause or no?
Yeah, never mind. Take it out of the rule book.
The rule book should say no bathroom breaks once you enter champ select.
Capital punishment for bathroom breaks.
Well, da war der Bathroom Break bei mir auch.
Definitely some legality that I think creates the need for these pauses, but I'm still against it.
We'll pose this to Mark. You know, it's not. It's above our pay grade. He's the one that has to decide if capital punishment for bathroom breaks is appropriate in the
Mark,
LCS.
Depending on his ruling, we'll take it to Gavin Newsom. You know, we'll see if he approves.
Up the food chain, from us to Mark to Gavin Newsom. That's generally how we decide our rulings here at the LCS. But we got a game 5, and it's been such a fun series. I'm excited to see how it actually finishes, right? Both these two teams, so much on the line.
Mal schauen, ich bin noch nicht so 100% von der Tristana überzeugt.
Maintaining their spot in the
Actually, nein, von der Tristana, ich bin noch nicht so 100%, also, actually, nee. Ich bin auch nicht so 100% von der Tristana überzeugt, weil Tristana into Huey war, glaube ich, kein gutes Matchup, einfach nur wegen dem Mid-Air 4.
They have had a great showing, you know, with a team that has a lot of young players. 4 of them, this is their first ever playoff series over on the DSG side, and they are going 5 games. Of course, over on the other team, we do have people that are having their first series as well. Hambach and Darkwings had never played any playoff games either, so that is really cool for a lot of these guys to be getting experience, and I feel like a lot of them are showing up.
And Hambach has improved incredibly since week 1 when they lost to DSG. And I don't think we necessarily knew the whole story of Hambach when he arrived on week 1, because the week 1 game between these two teams was Kizno subbing in for Kryra, and we think, oh, Sentinels has their whole team, so they're going to be more coordinated. But Hambach had just joined the team, and I learned that he hadn't scrimmed in a year because he got subbed out of his tier 1 team in LCK. Was the 6th man, so wasn't scrimming with the wasn't scrimming with the main team.
Low-key.
Sense that he was having issues with coordination, but him and Huhi have been
Low-key erklärt einiges.
In the latter part of these series. He seems to have a good early game every single time, and he's going to look to have one more to win this game 5.
I'm very impressed by Darkwings. I mean, yeah, he did come in a little bit at the end of last year, but like, you know, he subbed in to a DSG team that was like the most dead last, you know, at the end of last split. Him and Rahel came in, you know, really did make pretty big changes on that roster when they subbed in. They were really able to step things up, and you know, I had questions about how he was going to perform, you know, in this team. A lot of coaches had
das ist auch nicht wahr aus.
questions as well, and I think he's been very, very good.
Ich meine, wird nur von der Tristana outranged.
Darkwings, you know, earning his spot, definitely. He's looking good.
Maybe.
Yeah, he definitely holds his own. I think has been the better mid laner so far in this series, but game 5 can always change that story. So I'm excited about the performance of both of these teams because especially when you have.
Ich finde dieser LCS super unterhaltsam. Ich kann nur jedem von euch empfehlen, einzuschalten. Vom Level her also honestly, weder LEC noch LCS ist ein großer Unterschied. Ehrlich gesagt. Hat auch richtig guten Peel, ja. Ich glaube, Teamfight wird jetzt hier machbar sein für den Laus auf jeden Fall. Galio-Ulti drauf. Solid. Bisschen Sau-Ulti, theoretisch. Darkwings plus Rachel als Combo rumstehen. Gut.
The ultimate is harder for me to see. Not to mention the spikes on the wings look a little bit like a Relia ultimate going off to me. I imagine pro players now are completely used to it because it's such a.
Schau dich LPL und LCK, okay, dann ist es nicht deine Zeitzone, aber ich kann es trotzdem nur empfehlen.
It looks super cool, I'll give you that.
Produkt ist super. Ja, der Skin ist sehr schön.
That's your words. I'm just saying.
I'm just translating
like
for Jet.
It
Jet
looks
wants
unique.
capital punishment and dumb like pay to win skins. There you go. But no, it's definitely a cool skin. I mean, I remember that when you remember. What is the Ash skin called? That was like one of those legendary Ash skins. I remember a lot of pro players told me that the Hawk Shot they thought was
Project
ultimate when it first came out. But people get used to those pretty quick. So, you know, I definitely think pro players are going to be seeing it a lot and not really going to be thrown off by the animations whatsoever. So not too big of a deal there as top lane looking pretty even. Really across the board, things are quite even. We just have full clear.
Top-Lane-Wave ist solid. Die pingen Top-Lane-Wave zum Crashen wahrscheinlich. Wir haben gerade jetzt hier die Wave auf dem Tier 2 Turret gepinkt.
Rahel, of course, is going to be playing on Hit Varus. Makes a lot of sense. He is going to be that high DPS build. You know, you have to be able to get through that Sejuani, and they want to have that consistent damage, as Galio isn't really going to be bringing that.
Yeah, I could definitely see it going both ways, because if he had gone lethality, he'd have the range advantage on both the Trist and the Sivir, but definitely is better against the Sejuani to have the attack speed. I think this is one of those games where he could have gone either way.
Yeah, fair enough. Both of them are quite strong, and that's that interaction I was talking about. When you rocket jump in on the Trist, you are going to get feared, and generally that means you're going to get hit by 2 spells, which is going to be a proc of that passive. As wow. Over in the area, but Castle
wirklich, du willst so lange gechannelt, oder nicht? Und jetzt ist halt fucked. Jetzt ist fucked, jetzt müssen die regain. Okay, jetzt ist wieder okay. Ja. Cryer wird sein Flash mindestens los, ja. Er ist tot, oder nicht? Ach, schön. Hambak, du hast Flash? Hambak, du Varus Permaband. Game 5 ist meistens so, okay, es ist zu viel gebannt, deswegen lässt du halt OPs offen und bist dann für OP-Trade offen. Also jetzt hier zum Beispiel, Rumble war offen. Rumble offen, Varus offen, weißt du? Du gehst dann für halt einen Trade von OP-Champions in dem Game 5. Oftmals.
2 games in a row in pretty much the same spot ends up leading to a team death. So good start for Sentinels, but it's pretty much just Huhi being on top of things, matching the roams and playing defense.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this time obviously they had Lions, you know, making the roams, so they did have their support up there as well. But yeah, it's the same play. They went for the same kind of. Last time Carver goes down, this time he does not go down himself, but. Unfortunately, it is a first blood going there over to Darkwings.
Poke oder auch nicht momentan besser im Pro-Play? Poke. Und dann in Rare Occasions wie dem hier zum Beispiel finde ich auch nicht okay.
And Lions, you know, flashed late. He didn't flash the taunt from Impact. Ended up taking that, got incredibly low.
Hab's Gefühl, oftmals vor allem früher in earlier Games, wenn noch mehr Control-Mages und so weiter offen sind, ist es sehr schwierig, als Varus aktiv hitten zu können. Und da ist die Fatality dann einfach, ja, einfach straight up solider.
I think it's fine, especially if you're just holding the game even. Like with double AD carry and a front line, oftentimes you're kind of waiting for the game to come to you, but now they're going to try and make something happen onto Rahel or Huhi. Hard to get a recon though.
Yeah, not going to be able to get much. Lions playing like shoot, so it does get at least that proc. Going to be a potion used by Huhi, but it's just refillable, so honestly, who cares? Rahel going to be rushing towards that Blade of the Rune King. And Sajed taking a little bit of damage there, but it is just kind of a farm fest down on that bottom side. I mean, the scaling obviously not bad whatsoever for DSG. They do have these double AD carries. Looks like Calmy is potentially going in towards some Merc Treads here early on, just to try to answer all of the CC as well as the magic damage that is going to be coming out.
Makes a lot of sense. I think they need to be in a defensive pattern, though. I'm trying to get in the head of Cryer and why he's going for these engages. It's almost like they're very flippy engages. I don't feel like they necessarily had
Ja, Rumble First Pick für war aus bisschen so.
lane to play through, because even if you have the Rumble push top, Galio can always just move.
War ein smarter Trundle-Ban von Sentinels.
To you first.
IMO.
I'm not sold on it. He doesn't have stronger dueling than the Xin. It's backfired 2 games in a row, and I feel like they have better scaling as well. So it's like a home run play where he's almost just trying to.
Irgendwie war aus hier mehr.
Yeah, I mean, ends up getting.
Poker aus mehr.
If you talk to him, he would
Nee, no, wie gesagt, ich finde es hier okay.
well, we should
War Sieger Game 5.
the first base
Ja, crazy ones, buddy.
Oh, Bard's gonna get there first. We are quick on the play. You hit all your skills, and then you push them back, or you just kind of win out.
Ja, ich glaube, das Mittelmatchup ist echt bad.
You miss the stun. You don't actually make that happen.
Also, ich glaube, das war damals schon bad, weil du kannst halt jetzt Zander nicht reinjumpen, weil er hält seinen 4 und knallt dann halt mit R den 4 auf dich drauf.
Executing on it, but has happened a couple times in a row, and it is one of those risky moves that can be punished quite heavily. And as Impact gets back to lane now, is down to almost 20 CS. You know, a little bit of that is obviously from the roam, but the same thing happened last game, and it ended up not mattering whatsoever. Castle got out to a pretty early 20-ish CS lead in the Zehen Jax matchup.
Ace und Echo Band, ja, Ace und Echo, Irelia, Yasuo, Yon. Alles Band.
Yeah, Impact has been incredibly solid. Also, based off of the shenanigans that happened to Gromp, seems like a pretty easy Drake by Hambach. This might be the first Drake the
I don't know,
has gotten this series, but the pressure's really on.
Mapstate ist gerade nicht gut für Sentinel, für Disguised, überhaupt nicht gut. Werden Bot reingepusht, Mitteln reingepusht, Jungle losing. Nur Toplane ist fine. Wie ist Impact nur 60? Wie hat Impact nur 60? Sehr gut. Also wie Pressure-Ding ist sehr gut.
And, you know, it should be pushing away, and as you see, it is.
Ja. Je länger dieser Play geht, desto besser ist es auch für Sentinels. Das ist insane. Dieser Play ist insane.
4 or 5 minions that he made from stacking the wave behind their tower, and then knowing Sajid can't back up.
Insane.
He just cleaned the entire jungle from Kryra. Like, he is fuming at the moment. They lose Gromp, they lose the minions bot lane, and they can't even defend the jungle. So, Sentinels, Hambach, Huhi, jungle support synergy has been completely on point. They match the first invade, repel it, and then they execute their own invade.
Schön.
Yeah, there's Call Me jumps in.
Und da ist es, ne, du springst rein, wirst geviert.
He of course will survive, but it is tough when you take that damage. And Trist, it's like, yeah, technically you can go in for some early lifesteal, but then your first item is so delayed. You do not want to go like BT or Bork on Trist as your first item. You want to go just crit scaling items. So these matchups.
Darkwings TP zurück und ist First auf dem TP.
Because Trist only trades by going aggressive, and when you jump in, you get feared and you just get hit by ulti. It is really, really tough. And in my experience, these matchups just kind of get worse as it goes on. Of course, you always have that ability to maybe outplay in the team fight, but it's not easy for Call Me, and he has had a really tough series.
Yeah, he's got to try and survive off of the life on hit from Call, the Omnivan from Doran's, and the lifesteal from Legend Bloodline, which is little tiny bits of lifesteal throughout the lane.
Yeah, but they do get the flash though off Darkwings. That is very nice.
Ja, Galio ist fake into Rumble. Rumble ist so OP, vor allem mit Bloodletters.
So it is going to be that lower
scheißegal, ob du Hollow Radiance gehst, er trifft 2 E's, du bist einfach tot.
These support item builds now. And it is quite efficient, right? You know, you get the armor, the Amara, the health, the CD.
Aber I guess, halt Teamfight Impact-wise, dein Ulti ist schon gut. So.
It's quite nice. Call Me though getting chipped.
Denkst du, dass Sentinels auf dem Timer sitzen? Nee, ich glaube, es ist okay. Ich glaube, es ist okay.
Slowly build that gold lead after grabbing the first blood, and even gonna be able to cancel that recall again.
Yeah, I mean, DSG's really on the back foot right now. Sentinels.
Yeah, map is so fucking fucked.
Yes, Castle can push an impact, but we know in the first 14 minutes of the game, that doesn't really matter almost ever for the top laners. All the plays are happening through mid-bot at the moment, and that's where Darkwings is pushing in Call Me, and
guter One-Shot.
Yeah, Lions gonna be trying to get out of there. Flashes away, but Hambach
guter One-Shot. Schön. Und Botside Camps wieder weg. Wow, 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 wow.
Felt safe to walk up because he had the magical journey, but it just
nee, Trundle kein Prozent Max HP auf Damage. Rumble? Ja, Rumble hat auch Prozent Max HP. Rumble hat alles.
It's another deep invade. And he's
Rumble hat alles.
For the second rotation in a row. Last time it was Blue Gromp, now it's Wolves Gromp. It's going to become a massive experience advantage.
Sehr nasty, 1,5 Level im Jungle. Super nasty. Das ist aber sehr geiles, sehr, sehr geiles Invaden hier von Sentinels. Super, super gutes Early Game.
You know, it's one of these things where it's just kind of snowballing off of the earlier play, right? But
Hat noch Ulti, aber kein Flash. Ist fucked.
Sajed gonna be turned around on, is in some trouble, gonna get knocked down, pops the ulti. Sajed has to use the heal.
Jungle Roll.
The spell shield come back.
Hat wieder ab.
The ulti from Humbug will expire, but he dashes back in, gets the flash force.
Jungle Roll, by the way.
Gets him with the win, becomes
Hat der Smite ausgewählt.
Cryra takes the kill, so Sajed has to use.
Hat der mal wieder Smite ausgewählt, ne? Geil.
Have to use the heal from Lions.
Geil, geil, geil.
Really take him down in a 3v1, and now he buys Sundered Sky.
I mean, thank God they killed him. Otherwise, wrap it up. That would have been GG right there. Because they.
Yeah, EU Giants can do that.
That's pretty huge.
Did you hear what they said? That guy didn't scrim, by the way, for a year before he joined Sentinels.
The kill going over to Cryra, even though it's not ideal for your late game carry, helps him a little bit stay somewhat adequate against Hanbok and items. But Hui's just going to continue to keep annoying Sivir right here, and Cryra, he still can't really farm.
No, I mean, how fearless is Hui this game? It feels like it's like the 4th time he's been behind.
Gehen wir Topside erwähnen? Wir sehen die Sejuani auf Bottom.
Two towers saying, you know what, you can't do anything about it. Like, we know you have no Sejuani help. Good luck locking me down. You're not going to be able to do anything to me. So he's just harassing them constantly. I love this kind of play from Hui, where you really know the limits of your champions, but also, almost more importantly, you know the limits of their champions. And when they're missing this Sejuani ult, they have nothing really to lock you down. So Hui's just kind of dancing on him and being as annoying as he possibly can. Hanbok gonna come back in for the invade. The Wind Becomes Lightning will miss the big Krug there, excuse me, the big Raptor there, so won't be able to grab that, but they just go right back down towards the bot side. Darkwings is up 900 gold at this point. Call Me is just getting kind of gapped in the mid lane. It's been really, really tough, and it should be a freebie at the Dragon, you have to feel like, because look where Hui
Komm, sehr gutes Mitgame rein, ne? Sajed 90 CS.
Still really impressed with Hanbok and just the overall synergy from Sentinels in this game 5.
Insane.
Hard-fought series to this point. Definitely a few mistakes being made in previous games, but in this one, the overplay early by DSG into the jungle of Sentinels, and since then it's just been Sentinels living in this bot side. So at least Cryra gets his wolves, but Blue is gone again, and the wave
30 CS Jungle, 40 CS mit.
Sivir, and the Gromp is once
Actually
again
insane.
being pressured by Hanbok.
This is a
Und weiter geht's. Und noch kein Upgrade, Smite, nein, das ist kein 50-50, das ist nicht mal 50-50. Es ist so fucked.
Get it again. He got the Grump again.
Es ist so
Wave is just
fucked,
pushing away
bro.
from once more, Sajed can never move up. He's down 40 plus CS. This is ridiculous. And it's like, it's not like he's missing CS. He just can't walk up to the wave. Every time who he's going behind, he's stacking the wave against him, so it's pushing out away from him. And Lions is like recalling and not there to help him push it out. They're constantly re-invading, so he doesn't feel comfortable to move up. It's a 1.6k gold lead
Ja,
in the bottom.
2000 Gold liegt nur durch Lanes.
Like, this is just crazy. And sure, you have Sivir, you have Triss. Great, you're going to scale, but I don't
Das wäre jetzt Namely hat 20 Abilities. Oh, bestimmt.
in the early game.
Ja, bestimmt.
Left. Like he's just been sitting there slowly
Bestimmt, to be honest.
support quest, but he can't do anything. How is the gold only 1400? That's the puzzle here.
Well, look at top lane.
It's 900 for the Rumble.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's the answer, really.
I guess that's it.
Yep, it's that, and it's the Call Me Cole cashed out. So, you know, you get an injection of gold from that. You have
Wenn ihr jetzt nicht aufgepasst hört, aber dann, man sollte resetten, weil sonst ist dein Tempo fucked, wenn ihr jetzt da noch so overstayen.
Of course, you know, Castle is strong, so that is something that they have going for them. But again, like I touched on in Champ Select, there's not really that much lockdown.
Ist ja dann noch ein Matchup? Fuck no.
You could drop a good equalizer.
Fuck no.
Like you hit a Bard ult onto the Varus, you drop equalizer on his head after that. You're hoping that Sejuani can
Ja, fast 2 Items auf Varus schon.
that many tools to hold him in place.
And who he's just first out of Mikhail's because
Rumble hat schon mal ein Potenzial, hat er das? I don't know. Ich meine,
I love it.
Champion ist schon super OP, right? Aber die haben auch eine geile Ult, die haben einen guten Peel mit Rakan, mit Sinnsau. Die haben schon eine starke Kombo.
There's just that one bit of hard engage. Hui's Rakan is kind of checkmating the game, it feels like, so far.
Yeah, I mean, Hui went for an early Mikhail's even in the Leona game.
Beide Carries sind sehr immobil, das stimmt.
It's making sense in
Das stimmt.
every
Mal
position
sehen.
he's taking it. And especially in this game where you have basically one button to engage and Mikhail says, nope, can't do that. So that gets really, really tough.
Boah, zum Einschlafen schauen, ich weiß nicht, streamt Sartorius heute?
Time to farm these waves now.
Ich würde euch zu Sartorius einfach schicken, wenn ich fertig bin nach dem Game. Also,
And they just have to hope, you know what, scale, 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 and maybe you can have a big team fight win later on, but Cryra are going to have to flash out and use the ult defensively. He's trying to invade to get something back, but Hanbok is there, and he's up 2 levels, so there's no way you're ever going to win a duel against that. And Darkwings just moves over, and now all your playmaking tools are gone. Cryra feels like maybe falling victim to a little frustration when you're getting invaded.
He got the red. I actually think that's fine. He got the red, and he's
For your flash and your ult?
Yep. because think about what's been happening to his life in this game in the last 10 minutes. They are in his house and he can't get rid of them. So now, even with no ult, oh, Darkwings fails flash.
Darkwings.
Ja.
Oh no, he did fail his flash. Going over.
Oh.
Tried to get over,
Oh.
but doesn't get hugging the wall before he uses the flash and
Oh.
is taken down. As a result, they are able to grab that kill. And
Das ist ein Big Death, no joke.
to extend that lead.
Das ist ein Big Death. Läuft ein bisschen für den Flug und Pre-Warning und Download? Ja, ja. Death, oder?
To try to knock him down.
I think this is going to be mid-turret, which will open up the map.
Ja, wir sind noch streamen nach dem Game dann.
Gold is very close, especially after that shutdown went for Darkwings, but I feel
Oh,
like
eine Bot natürlich, oder?
gold that Sentinels is going to want to collect.
So he is back in his home, in between the two towers. Now abusing Castle, but he's taking a lot of damage this time as he does get hit by a binding. Castle
Da engagen wir. Guys.
On the Bear Assault though, Rahel trying to turn things around. Kryra is here.
Guys.
Won't be able to get a kill, but no one falls on either side. It is just the 1K gold lead now. Castle's strength does have to be respected.
It really does. Once they can play around the Rumble, now that they've gotten him out of that lane, the game is looking a little bit, I mean, a lot more playable, because it was really feeling unplayable.
Das ist wieder 5 Sekunden später. Oh.
For pretty much, you know, 5 minutes through 15 minutes, it felt like there was nothing they could do.
2 Items.
CS behind in jungle.
Ja, der Drake wird important, ne? Die haben keine Sensor-Ulti. Mal schauen. Geht auf den Top den Turret. Geht nicht den Turret. Er kriegt den Turret. Oh mein Gott, Impact ausgegrieft. Oh mein Gott, wow, wurde der gespaced. Hilfe. Hilfe. Oh, wow. Wie machen wir's?
Does have the rocket jump, but that is not going to keep him safe.
Wie machen wir's? Ja, okay.
Cost him his life. Unfortunately for Sentinels, he grabs the kill. We'll see if they can get anything else off the back of it.
He should not have done that, but it's a good kill nonetheless. Questionable Bard ult right there. So not sure what the plan was. But they get the
Top Turret weg, ja. Dritter Drake.
Before he falls.
Dritter Drake wäre wichtig.
Lions and Kryra are at least stopping Darkwings from pushing through, so they're keeping this game
Ein Turret weg.
actually very playable. Like if they get to a team fight where Calmy and Sajed are sitting on 3 or 4 items and it hasn't been Soul yet, they'd still actually have a chance despite how much Huhi and Hambach have dominated in the early game.
I think it's definitely possible, but when I think about compositionally, I think it's very difficult because how do your AD carries get past the Xin Zhao with the ultimate being active, and how do you find a good engage to
Für diesen Drake, ja.
kills on the other side?
I don't know, ich glaube, wenn du diesen Drake zu geben, ist halt tough.
High chance that the Sentinels carries will have a lot easier time in
Weil ich hab's Gefühl, beim nächsten Spike Sentinels halt auch immer noch hart, ne?
So I think that's
Schwierig.
really the question.
Rumble ist immer noch sehr strong, ja.
Sajed as well as Calmy to have a successful fight.
Ja, ich meine jetzt, also jetzt ist halt so. I mean,
it's super late.
I mean, Drake ist weg, guys.
I thought they weren't even going to try to fight, but they're like, well, all 5 are here.
Drake ist weg, guys. Wie machen wir's?
As well as the Glacial Prison. Doesn't really get them anything though, and it is now soul point for Sentinels, and that is going to be a potential Mountain Soul here in just over 4.5.
Yeah, Sentinels playing with a huge amount
Pause.
of confidence as Rahel has paused the game, so we'll have to check on what is going on there. But as you mentioned, very
Willst du Sage nicht mit Minis pairen? Ja, also denke ich auch, ja.
It feels like a mirage, the fact that it's
Denke
like
ich auch, aber I mean, ja.
Amount of stats being injected into your team, which is going to make things a lot harder. And just compositionally, I feel like they have a lot of the answers. So we will have to see, can Calmy and Sajed find ways to really get involved, or can Castle, who
Freunde, wir machen jetzt nicht,
really
wir machen jetzt nicht allzu lange, ja.
and maybe, you know, get a good play, burst down one of these carries, because that's the kind of stuff it's really going to take, I feel like, for DSG to not just kind of slowly bleed out of this one. I mean, you have 4.5
Gibt Soul-Spieler genug Damage, glaubst du? I don't know.
I feel like
Mountain Soul ist sehr OP, Bro.
Still been a very entertaining series.
Mountain Soul ist sehr, sehr, sehr broken.
The series, it has felt like Sentinels has scaled a little bit. Darkwings has looked more and more confident in each game. Hambach and Huhi have been very well connected early game. On the DSG side, Castle's had a great series. He's had individual advantages in almost every game. Sajed has been able to keep his farm up and team fight very effectively in most games. This game's a little bit tragic because the bot side got so dominated and Huhi kept pulling the wave to prevent him from being able to farm. But still, a lot of league items to be played.
So update on the pause. Sentinel's audio did briefly cut out for a second, so they paused, and now they're making sure that that is not going to happen again. So they're investigating and making sure that there's not going to be any more audio issues going forward. Obviously going to be doing those audio checks once more, because you definitely do not want that to happen in the middle of a team fight or anything
reasonable.
Like that. Especially in a series that has been this close going down the stretch. Looked like DSG doing some audio checks as well, just to see that there's no issues on their end. A lot of stress on this team as when you're getting choked out like this, it's a very difficult game to play. I feel like that's why we see fights like the last one, which wasn't a fight. It was just Kryra throwing his ult in and Castle throwing his ult in, because when you have no agency, you kind of want to be around to hope that someone else has some level of agency, and then you're there in case something good happens. But currently, there's just nothing good to be done for DSG.
So another update. So it actually did also happen at DSG. So it happened for both teams. So they are now continuing to investigate. They believe they have figured out what the issue was. So they'll be able to hopefully get that fixed and get back to game very quickly here. But yeah, despite the close gold lead, it is a 3-dragon lead for Sentinels. Has been a pretty back-and-forth series. We're here all
Ich will mir einfach das Trust save.
First series of
Boah, da war eine Stunde Pause, wir machen keine Stunde Pause.
Winner will go to America's Cup, will guarantee themselves at least top 3, and of course will still be in the hunt.
Danach WoW nicht, ich will unbedingt ins Bett.
Berth that everyone is really fighting for.
Yeah, and loser will get sent down to play either Lion or Team Liquid. So with all the parity we're seeing, it was surprising that Lion and Team Liquid are even in the lower bracket. So not necessarily like you go down there and play a team that is weaker or worse. They have performed worse in the Swiss stage, but based off of reputation and scrims and preseason predictions are actually...
Mach da LCK am 9. Morgen früh LCK. I mean, ich muss aufstehen, um Karte zu füttern. Das heißt, wahrscheinlich wird es so, ich werde LCK machen und dann offline gehen. Yep, that's the play. LCK machen, offline gehen, packen und dann fliegen. Und dann morgen Abend, morgen Abend macht, wie gesagt, Genax LCS.
Castle has done great individually. Darkwings, I think, has as well. And this is a guy who I think people didn't expect that much from him, but he's been really solid, and he has been able to find a way to make some of these less popular control mages look really, really good. The Veigar was great last game. The Hui has been fantastic this game, and it feels like Call Me didn't have a good answer into it.
Yeah, I hope Darkwings has a
similar... Auf deinem Kanal, ja, auf dem Kanal hier. Ja, die spielen Winner und Mauti ab, die Aliens.
Because Darkwings feels like this super young new player.
So.
25. He played like 7 years in Tier 2 before actually getting his chance. And then as soon as he does, he performs at a very high level.
Das wusste ich auch nicht. To be honest, das wusste ich auch überhaupt nicht.
Even if you didn't think this is some incredible standout Tier 2 player that must be thrown in LCS, once you get a few reps, even without the same champion pool as others, he's been very effective.
And I feel like we've seen that from a lot of the...
Marinated Tower is ready. Look at D'Antoni marinating. Und wen ging's um Darkwings?
Like Sajed all looking really strong as very aggressively. In comes Impact from behind, and Lions could be in some trouble. Able to use the magical journey to get back to safety, but Call Me is now cut off from Impact is going to be able to tank this one up. Call Me flashes back. Good.
Oh my, nein. Doch nicht so. Doch nicht so. So verlieren wir. Oh mein Gott, wie OP ist Rumble. What the fuck? Oh nein, ist weg. Das kann nicht sein. Das kann nicht sein. Bitte nicht. Oh, Castle ist tot. Hamburg, du hast noch Ulti, mein Bro. Okay, kein Nash. Kein Nash, aber das war schon wieder disgusting as fuck. Ohne Witz, das war schon wieder komplett disgusting.
18,000 health Baron. Double AD carry takes it very quick. That would have been their window back in the game. So I agree with the call. Just go for it. It felt like a small miracle the way this started. Like, Call Me goes to defend this turret 1v3, and the best Bard ult of the game catches 2 of the divers, not the turret, which allows the turret to just one-shot Darkwings, and then they have Impact no flash. Potentially the best play would have been for Castle to not teleport in, because he gets the turret bot lane, and DSG probably still wins the fight. But once Castle's in, he's thinking, we need to hit a home run right now. They get the shutdown and Impact.
War nur ein Kugelstoß, kein Wurf. Aha.
For Baron, but that is going to be something for their review. We don't have time to go over that now.
No, we don't at all, but we're back to live.
Oh mein. Guys, bitte.
Cryra did use the ulti, but clearly they cannot just punch through this gap.
Bitte, 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 bitte. Ihr habt 2 Minuten auf Soul.
Really love that Rand
Ihr seid immer noch stärker.
for him. Doesn't over prioritize the magic resist. Needed a little bit for the early lane against Castle. Now with 2 crit damage dealers, that's the best tank item he can build in the game so far.
And Sentinels, they want to keep accelerating this game where DSG kind of want to slow it down in a bit because you really want to get to the IE on both the Tristana as well as the Sivir. And if they can get this next dragon, get towards IE for both of their carries, that would be huge. But Call Me gonna be able to rocket jump to safety, will be pushed back, and it means that tower top should fall. Of course, they're not going to have the IE for this next fight, and that is going to be the soul fight. So this
Wenn sie mir ja keiner nicht einig für Sentinels. Nur wegen Rachel. Meinst du Siegs auf hier? Ich weiß nicht. Harness soll so, also Harness into. Boah. Ich weiß gar nicht, Harness into was. Was im Draft passiert? Ein Upsi. Malheur. Ich weiß nicht, was zu Second Item gehen würde. Ich meine, Siegs ergibt schon irgendwo Sinn, aber irgendwie auch nicht. Weiß nicht. Vor allem, wenn du eigentlich Front-to-Back spielen willst. Ich wüsste nur nicht, weil ich Second Item kaufen würde dann.
Another thing that's really big is Sentinels have TP advantage, but Impact, did he overstep here? The reset on that rocket jump is going to allow him to jump again.
Oh, das ist ein guter Turn aber, oder nicht? Oh no. Also Kommi nimmt den aber, also er nimmt den aber überhaupt nicht ernst auf Sideliner. Das ist schon sehr krank. Das ist sehr krank, wie er den überhaupt nicht ernst nimmt.
Really big win in the side lane there for DSG, and it gives them a much better shot now with no Galio ult at this next fight.
No Trist ult as well. Probably got a little greedy at the very end.
Barmy Harness Juncture? Ja, irgendwie sowas. Ich weiß nicht, ob ich weiß überhaupt nicht. Wir hatten es mal, ich glaube, wir hatten es mal getestet im Custom Game. Und Giant Spray gibt dir, glaube ich, selben Clearspeed oder schnelleren Clearspeed wie ja, schneller Clearspeed als Barmys. So. Ich sehe 2,5 Items nur, die sind so outspiked gerade. Haben Bug gut auf Castle zu gehen. Ist gut, ist gut, ist gut. One-Shot auf den ist gut. Viel besser. Und Sajet ist auch fucked. Oh mein. Nein, das Portal war schlecht. Nein, das Portal war schlecht. Nicht Expire, das Portal war schlecht. Nein, 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 das Portal ist nicht über die Wand gekommen. Holy fuck. Oh mein Gott, er ist nicht durch das Portal gekommen, by the way. Und der ist reingeflasht in das Portal und ist nicht durchgekommen. Oh, es ist schlimm. Das ist so schlimm alles.
That's Mountain Soul. This is going to make things a lot more difficult. That being said, they do have a lot of they do have that high DPS comp.
Oh nein, nein, that was peak game 5, that was peak game 5, yes.
And you have no follow-up damage, but it's going to make things a lot more difficult, as well as the flat armor and MR increase that is going to really benefit champions like the Galio, who is stacking that. So now you definitely need your Last Whispers. You can see they're going to be building towards that next for Call Me and Sajed, which means IE is going to be 4th or later. And it's a little bit of desperation time for DSG. They're going to overlook.
Soll ich hier der Bandlepipes kaufen? Nein, Bandlepipes ist auch gut. Ja.
Find something here. Does someone step too far forward?
Hoping to get one or
oder
two
Mikhails
kills,
oder sowas.
Be able to sneak Baron. Maybe similar to the way they won the Ivor Nasus game. Don't have quite the same scaling, but this is the state that they're in right now. At least they're trying for creative plays, but Sentinels just needs to make sure their waves are pushed up, make sure they're approaching with vision. And they should be able to close this one out.
I mean, they keep canceling their recalls. They could get spotted in that brush, and that would be a disaster here, because now there's a lot more Sentinel members on that top side.
I mean, can Call Me and Cryra even get a kill?
No, I don't think so. Not with how close the rest of the Sentinels team is. I mean, if it's clearly just like an extended 2v1, you can, but they are moving out now, and I think they're going to be spotted here pretty soon on that.
Das 2 Meter Portal, true.
I love that Hanbok is also grabbing a Randuin's of his own, double AD carry. Obviously, you have the ulti.
Das ist der schlechteste Bart, den ich jemals im Pro-Play gesehen habe.
2K gold ahead. Another game where he's
das schaltet niemals bei der Prime League an, mein Bruder. Wenn du diese Illusion aufrechterhalten willst.
Who he just trying to keep them away. It's going to be a slow burn, but once the Varus arrives, it'll be going down a lot more quickly, and it feels like DSG, they're aware, but can they approach?
Yeah, it's so hard for them to approach. Rahel hitting it now. Shreds it almost.
He misses. Okay, well, he's going to spot it now, so now they know for sure they're going to TP the Tristan.
Flash up.
I mean, Cryra would just have to blind flash in. If they can get any vision over top,
They're going to delay with the Bardal. Can Kryra get in and try to steal?
Sollte sofort aufhören zu hitten.
Against Darkwings as well as Huhi. Kryra, does he go? Nice binding comes through. The Equalizer's on.
Guter Turn, Hamburg Ulti. Aber er hat so viel Armor. Oh mein Gott, er hat so viel Armor Damage reduziert. Warum kommt die Galio Ulti so spät? Oh. Warum kommt die Galio Ulti so spät? Und warum geht er mit minus 40 MA oder sowas rein? Oh. Bitte.
At the end of the day, it's DSG staving off the Baron here, but not getting more themselves.
So from the looks of it, DSG was thinking if they
Fucking filthy. Ich glaube, dieser Galio, dieser Sensor hat unironically so 30 MA weniger. Das ist so schlimm schon wieder.
Exactly right there. But then he takes so much damage from Castle's Rumble, just sitting on pretty much his flame spitter right there.
Oh, Galmi is going to be caught out. Can he actually survive? He's trying to reset the rocket jump, and he does so onto Huhi, and now the teleports are coming in. Kryra's going to be in behind them. Can they look for more? Kryra wants to find someone. Huhi has to flash, so they have to go very defensive there in retreat. And yeah, that was some risky business around the Baron. I mean, I think the turn could have been okay, but there was 2 members from Sentinel that were up on the top side dealing with Calmy. You know, they're not with you, so if you're trying to turn like that, it's just unlikely to work out. I mean, Hambach goes over the wall thinking, hey, I have Galio ult, but yeah, you know, your Rakan's nowhere near. Your Varus can't hit, so it's not going to work out in that situation. That's a pretty big shutdown being given over. Calmy now has this LDR. You can see that the Executioner's calling the Mortal Reminder has been finished for Sajed, so surely you would think the IEs are coming next.
Yeah, they both have their armor pen items.
Monster muss doch carryen, oder? Safe. Bestimmt, oder? Surely.
I got a weird feeling now. Just
wird ein Elder-Flip.
With the way the pick happened before.
Es wird ein Elder-Flip, 100%, 700 Gold noch.
DSG. It feels much more winnable.
Dieser Rumble ist so OP. Warum hat der Rumble kein Bloodletters? Warte, warum hat der Rumble kein Bloodletters? I guess er ist der Single AP. Fred. Wieder minus 30 gemacht für den Sensor in seine Fresse.
Calmy is pushing mid lane here, so he's going to be trying to continue that. Rahel coming to respond now, and Calmy's going to have to be careful because he's separated from the team.
Yeah, I don't think Calmy can get through, and Hambach also doesn't really take damage from the Baron, so they're really just hoping DSG commits in, and then they can get their fight.
Castle is moving over to try to regroup with Calmy, but now potentially to the other side. Some poke coming through onto Kryra, the Baron's getting...
Darkwings gecatcht. Mika, jetzt ist gut, Hambach in die Backline rein. Sajed, gefistet von Rachel. Alien. Komisch. Ja. Well played. Und back to Nash.
Can just go right back onto the Baron. It is a 3v5.
Kryra's in a lot of trouble. He's got a flash over on the other side. Calmy's going in. They're going to try to win the fight on the side.
Bro, es spielen legit die Aliens gegeneinander, ne?
That is a massive shutdown as Hambach was trying
es spielen unironically die Aliens gegeneinander. Es ist so geil.
A great escape. He cannot. He falls. But without the Varus, this is so much
harder. Es ist so geil.
He's got to try to stay alive, though. He gets caught on the recall briefly there. Overheats, trying to go in on the Huhi, but surely has no damage to finish him off. And Impact is not going to go down. They're delaying the death. They're just delaying the death.
Insane.
Elder is going to be up in 34 seconds, and now he's dead for 20 seconds after
Aliens versus Aliens, yep.
Likely be alive for this Baron, so Sentinels really
into Elder, yeah.
If the game is crazy. The start of that fight, Huhi did incredible to peel the backside of the fight. Kryra's sticking around for some miracle steal, but it's looking tough. This will be Baron and probably Elder as well. It depends how long it takes Sentinels to reset and go down for the Elder.
Yeah, it's still 30 seconds until respawns here. They're going to be able to have the Baron buff on all 5 for Sentinels. So instantly
Trailblazer statt Locket. Lass ihn.
Rushing out of base, spending all their gold. There's a random instant for
fucking hater.
He's got an elixir in his inventory. He is ready to go, and Rahel working in towards that Jack show, so going to be very tanky once that is completed. Just about delaying for Castle. They are going to have time to get him back here. The TP is going to be up very shortly after the respawn, if not right as he respawns.
It's up.
Hambach is going to get...
ist dann nicht zu spät für Elder, also auf jeden Fall.
It's still so hard to
TP behind
von
Castle.
Impact is super tanky. They're TP in deep, but they'd have to get onto the carry. So Rahel's no flash. He might be a target.
They are split once more.
Ja, Mikael ist aber wieder ab bei Huhi.
Getting chunked down once again. He's down 2 levels, remember, here. And is not very tanky.
Hambach muss ja nicht reingehen mit Ulti. Ja. Sehr gut. Oh, actually insane about Ulti. Matter das? Nee. Nee. Wait, Darkwing ist tot. Wait. Oh mein Gott, Calmy ist reingesprungen. GG.
GG.
G.
That Bard ult was playing for the other team. Sentinels crush the fight. We'll see how much more they can get. But the
GG.
there
Anti-Hype-Ending, to be honest. Sehr anti-Hype-Ending. Der Jump-In von Cormi war es definitiv nicht. Oh weia, so Game 5 zu verlieren ist so bitter. Aber to be honest, ist also no joke, das Early Game von Hambak und der Botlane zusammen war insane, by the way. So 4 Camps am Stück zu klauen war insane. Ich mein's ernst. Das war ein richtig, also das Ende war jetzt ein bisschen scheiße, aber das Early Game war so krass gut von Sentinels, no cap. GG.